I'm super excited to see you again. It's been a wonderful time, I believe. And one of the things that really motivate my heart is that you've been watching and listening to our podcast on Spotify and on YouTube. And this shows your desire to keep on growing, especially in this line of ecclesia. And last week we were looking at the vision that God gave to Rick Joyner in his book, The Quest. And we said that he looked and saw an attack that was coming upon the church and the leadership that was based on disloyalty through a demonic attack. And this week we're going to look at 10 laws of loyalty. And I believe that as you listen to this podcast, your life shall be transformed indeed. So welcome, I'm Moses Mushigi. Let's study these 10 laws of loyalty and we can apply them in our day-to-day life. Every great leader, you'll find that they have these 10 laws of loyalty at their fingertips. For you to become great, whether you're leading an organization, you're leading a church, you're leading a business, you need to understand these 10 laws of loyalty and apply them in your day-to-day life. Let me state the first law of loyalty. Law number 1. The head of the organization must first be loyal to his subordinates. Get that? The head must first display loyalty to those that he leads. If you are the leader, you must first be committed to the cause, to the people that you're leading, and you should exhume loyalty. The way you treat your people, the way you behave around them, without usurping your power, but showing by an example. Loyalty does not just depend on the subordinates being loyal to their leaders or their superiors. Everything, good or bad, flows down from the top. And we can get this from the scripture in the book of Psalms 133 and verse 2 for them that share with my faith. And the Holy Book says, it's like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, that went down to the skirts. I'm just summarizing this verse. There are other parts that I have omitted. Whatever is at the top will be found at the ranks. This is a principle of loyalty. Whatever is at the head will be found at the ranks. So if the top do not have loyalty, does not inculcate loyalty, you will find that even at the ranks, you will not find loyalty. The starting point of loyalty is the head of the organization. If the head is unfaithful, then you will find that the followers, the people that he's leading or she's leading, you'll find unfaithfulness in them too. The first question that I want you to help me answer is, are you loyal to your leader? Are you loyal to the person that is in charge? Right? The reason why it's hard to teach in our churches, in organizations, in our business premises about loyalty, it's because we have so many people that are not reasonable leaders. Some organizations, they have very, very, very unreasonable leaders. It is impossible to teach people to be loyal to disloyal heads. It's very impossible. You'll hear people speaking about other people and saying that they are not loyal to them. Especially you'll hear leaders saying that their subordinates are not loyal to them. Many times you'll hear complaints on the corridors of offices, premises, organizations, people lamenting and saying that we're going to dismiss this lot of people because of disloyalty. But the first question that we need to ask is the head loyal to the organization, to the fidelity of the cause, and to the people? You'll hear the people saying that, I admire your team. Your team has so good people, loyal people. But I have only the bad ones. The bad ones are the ones that I work with, people that are not loyal, people that are not, all this stuff. But the first question, or the question we should ask is, are you loyal first? How do you treat your subordinates? Are you leading by example? Because loyalty starts from the head. That is the first principle. Loyalty starts at the head. I had a pastor friend come to me and say that I admire your church members because they're very loyal. And he said, but I have people and associates like devils. And I was like, hey, what about if he has subordinates that are like devils, then it means that he's the Lucifer, he's the leader. So when you complain and whine about your subordinates being not loyal, then it means that you are not loyal, or you have not inculcated the principle of loyalty that says loyalty starts from the head. Just as loyal subordinates should not speak evil of their seniors, also the seniors should not speak evil of their juniors or their subordinates. It's a principle. Garbage in, garbage out. Many Africans are leaving Africa and going to Europe to look for green pastures. And sometimes I ask myself, why are they leaving? The Africans are not running away from their people. The Africans are not running away from their homes. The Africans are not running away from their roots. They are running away from bad leaders. They are running away from disloyal men and women that have taken now over the leadership of nations, and they don't look at the best interest of those that they lead. They are running away because of bad leaders that misappropriate resources and finances, bad leaders that do not provide health care, bad leaders that misappropriate funds that are meant for development and infrastructure. They are running away from bad leaders who never speak well of their nations. That is why people are running away from Africa and going to join good leaders in other nations. The reason why employees leave organizations is not necessarily because of money per se. No, a sense of self-worth and achievement is the highest motivation for workers. If someone does not feel important and appreciated, he starts to look elsewhere. That is the motivation. The way you treat your workers, the way you treat your subordinates, the way you treat those that you lead, determines whether they feel comfortable, whether their self-worth is amplified, or they feel like even if they're paid well, they don't feel the environment as good enough for them to grow. So as a leader, you need to continually look whether these people are getting the affirmation that they need. Do they feel part of the community? Are they part of the decisions? Are they part? Do they champion the cause of the organization? Do they own? Do they feel part and parcel of that community? It is the duty of the head of the organization to make everyone feel important and appreciated. Many years ago, I worked with the government of Kenya, and I served in my capacity as an ICT expert for 2 years. But I started to feel that I'm not really growing. I felt I wasn't treated well. I felt that I was just like a robot that was waking in the morning, getting at work, and then leaving. And so I felt I did not need to continue in that space. So I resigned because I did not feel appreciated. I did not feel like I was part of what was happening. I was not treated well. I reiterate that it is difficult and sometimes impossible to work under certain kinds of leaders. Let me ask you a question. Can you follow someone who keep on threatening you with a gun, with a knife? You will not. It's very impossible for junior staff to follow leaders that keep on threatening them. It is very difficult and hard for any subordinate staff to keep on following leaders that they don't have at the heart a desire for their subordinates to grow. Any leader that threatens you and keep harassing you, you find that you're there before you get away out of that organization. You serve there, but you're looking for any possible means to leave that organization. It's very important for you to know that as a leader, you need to motivate your junior, your subordinates, into becoming loyal because you're loyal. One time, a young man came to me and said, "Hey, I feel I'm so loyal to your church and to you because you have at heart the best interest for my progress." And he said that I have observed you and everything that you do is because you care. And so I feel I should reciprocate the same because what you display is that I'm important to you and whatever I do here is very important. The point of loyalty coming from one of the young people in the church was triggered because of the observation they made that their pastor cared about them and their well-being, and he desired that they grow and they become. Let me ask you this question. Why are you loyal to your organization where you work at and where you serve under? Let me say this very important point. Loyalty emanates from the head. Loyalty breeds more loyalty. You should get that. The scripture says, moreover, it is required in a steward that a man be found faithful. Faithfulness comes when you're treated with honor, with dignity. Loyalty breeds more loyalty. For your organization to grow, then you need to keep on refining and growing loyalty from the top all the way down. See you in our next podcast as we look at the principle number 2 of loyalty. God bless you. See you in the next podcast.